Once you've cut your rafter tails off to line and calculated your eave drop-off, you'll need to mark the eave drop-off at each end of the building, preferably adjacent to a rafter. Eave drop-off is measured down from the top of the top plate. The eave drop-off for this example is 300 mm and is measured down from the top of the top plate and marked on the wall frame. You then have to determine the position of the eave drop-off mark in relation to the end of the rafter tail. This is done by levelling across the top and the bottom of the plumb cut of the rafter tail. You will now have your eave drop-off mark and your rafter tail marks on the frame. This will allow you to determine a distance that you need to measure up from your eave drop-off mark to be able to level across onto your rafter tail. This distance is an arbitrary distance and should be in increments of 10 mm so that it is easier for you to remember. Measuring up from our eave drop-off mark, we establish a mark approximately central to our rafter tail marks. For this example, 100 mm will suit. Mark the 100 mm above the eave drop-off mark on the frame and place an indicator on it. This will become your level line mark. This mark will be levelled across onto your rafter tails at each end of the building. Note that the verge and hip rafter braces would still be on from the previous stage. I've only taken them off to make it easier to view this process. The remainder of the video will show the braces still on. A line can now be set up across the ends of the rafter tails, ensuring that it lines up with our level line marks. This may be done with a chalk line or straight edge. The remaining rafters can then be marked. A level line must be marked on the side of each rafter. These must be on the side of the rafters, so you can align these marks with the gauged line that you will put on the fascia. Marking the hip rafters is easily done after removing the string line. A straight edge or spirit level can be used to level the marks across to the hip rafter tail. This process is repeated for all the eaves on the building. The fascia can then be measured. When measuring from hip to hip, this dimension will be the fascia length from short point of mitre to short point of mitre. When measuring from verge rafter to verge rafter, this dimension will be from square cut to square cut on the fascia. Once the fascia is cut, the level line must be gauged on the fascia. This must be gauged so that the line follows any bow in the fascia material, so that once the fascia is installed, the fascia is straightened. The level line for this example was 100 mm up from the eave drop-off. So a mark must be made 100 mm from the bottom of the groove. This is then gauged by adjusting the combination square to the line from the bottom of the fascia, and then gauging the line along the fascia material. Then installing the fascia is done by lining up the gauged line on the fascia to the level line marks on the rafter tails and fixing the fascia to the rafter tails with galvanised bullet head nails, starting from one end and working towards the other. This makes adjusting the fascia up or down easy. Repeat the process for all eaves until the fascia is complete.